Lonely sofas hide no secrets. "Shopping for a better class of alley?" Lexi quipped, stepping inside and reaching for her lucky lighter. She moved in close, lit his cigarette, then gently pulled it from his lips, feeling no objection, and took a long drag herself before slipping it back slowly and carefully. Her hand drifted inside his coat just to make herself at home. "Careful, gumshoe," she whispered, low and smooth, the kind of whisper you could hear with parts of your body that didn't have ears. "Everybody knows smoking can kill you. And I guess that is a gun in your pocket. Nobody could be that happy to see me." She leaned in to see what else she could feel. She wouldn't have blown the smoke in his face if she'd known he was going to like it quite so much. "I wonder if he'll keep that cigarette butt with my red lipstick on it in some special little place when he gets home," she mused. She almost let herself think. No pillow is safe tonight, but she wasn't sure she wanted to give him credit for that much ingenuity. "Why don't we get out of here?" she said. "Looks like those rats want to be alone. Your place your place. It's probably about time it saw what a girl looks like. Those old sofas and things do get lonely after all. Hey now, it's okay. We'll turn the pictures of your mother the other way, although she'd probably be happy to see you being kept warm by something other than those socks she knits you for your birthday." "It's for Christmas," he interrupted. "Wow," Lexi thought. "I've just got to meet that mother of his someday. She's got some explaining to do." "Well, it's not quite Christmas, but I'm sure we can find something for you to unwrap. Now let's get going. That rat's giving me the eye. Bring your cigarette." That's when she met the car. Jack's 1936 Nash Rumbler. No, not Rambler, just Rumbler in this case. Oh my God, she thought, it really is a long, cool gray sedan. I guess all these mugs really do drive one. It was a fine car, the kind traffic cops leave tickets on. Off gray, off rust, just off. A 3-door model. Oh, it had 4 doors, but only 3 worked, so 3 it was. As they rattled down the street, belching smoke and occasionally backfiring, just like Rod on his morning walk to the bar, Lexi thought, they passed through Jack's neighborhood, seedier than Roosevelt's lawn. There was a cheerful mix of kids stealing hubcaps, an occasional street mugging, and various ladies of the night who in their case were lucky that it was night and dark and that the beer was so cheap. "Gumshoe, this thing does have brakes, doesn't it?" Lexi asked. "Not that I want to stop around here, but I was just wondering." Jack's apartment was conveniently located, up just 5 flights of rickety stairs and down only 2 cramped, smelly hallways. At least it was dark, thank goodness for blown-out light bulbs. And there it was, early nothing, awash with way too many doilies for a guy or a sane woman, way too many overstuffed cushions and chairs, and everything. The curtains were big and heavy and covered with giant flowers of all different faded colors, probably the only thing to bloom in here since the Great Depression. It looked like the kind of place a little old lady must have lived in and died in after going slowly insane. Lexi just hoped that there wasn't a stuffed cat or anything else in a corner somewhere. "If I get naked in here, it's going to be another whole year with my therapist, at least," she thought to herself. "I like what you've undone with the place. Gumshoe, if you have such a thing, could you find the coat closet and hang this up?" Lexi slipped out of her overcoat, revealing her clingy red dress underneath, and tossed it casually at him. "And why don't you give your coat a thrill and hang it up, too, while you're at it?" Jack kept trying to catch up to this conversation and object, but it just kept speeding past him like some soft, great-smelling and better-looking train with legs to die for. He turned with some word, or words still clinging to his tongue, and clumped off to the coat closet. As it turns out, he had one. By the time he returned, his objections had vanished, but his mouth came open nonetheless. There was Lexi, sitting back a bit in the big puffy chair in her very slinky, very red dress with her legs crossed. If the dress were much shorter, it could have passed for a shirt, but never a men's shirt. "Come sit down, Gumshoe. You look like you need to catch your breath." There she was with that matter-of-fact tone again. If she had used a tone like that and a dress like that to explain the birds and the bees to a class full of schoolboys, she would have outright killed at least half of them. Jack moved awkwardly toward the overstuffed sofa. "No, not there," Lexi scolded. He shifted across to the only other chair in the room, a wooden, quite uncomfortable-looking thing, but his only retreat. "No, here, come here. I promise this chair's the most comfortable." He walked over, obedient as that inner little boy, and Lexi stood up quickly to usher him into the chair. "See, isn't that nice and comfy and snug, and it's all warmed up for you?" Before he could move or object or figure out what to say next, she sat down, her warm body draped across his lap, her long legs pushing out into the room. "Do you like my shoes? They're over there, on the other end of my legs, if that's what you're looking for." He didn't answer. Right then he couldn't. He shifted in his chair under the weight of a woman for the first time, trying to look cool and collected. His fingers twitched, caught between reaching for the cigarette and reaching for her. "Now listen." "Oh, Gumshoe, I am listening. Do you hear it too?" She took his head and pulled it close against her breast. "Isn't it fun?" A different part of him twitched. She shifted position a bit so she could be looking him straight in the eyes as he let out a little moan. "Gumshoe, now that didn't hurt, did it? I won't bite, you know. Well, not hard." She almost added, "Not unless you want me to," but she figured that one was best left for another day, and she didn't want him to go too far over the edge just yet and have to rush out and change his pants or anything. Never before dinner, she mused, forming a slight smile. She had been playfully making sure that they smoked just the one cigarette between them, constantly, and slowly refreshing the bright red lipstick on it before gently, slowly, and deliberately sliding it back into his mouth. The lipstick was starting to fade. She thought about refreshing it, but several things are better left wanting. Somewhere down the hall a telephone rang with all the urgency of a guilty conscience. She wondered if it was for him. Wondered if he'd answer it if it was. But mostly she wondered if he knew just how deep in trouble he already was, sitting there trying to look like he wasn't counting her eyelashes. No court in the land would convict him for not noticing that she had carefully slipped a key out of his pocket with those perfect, soft, long fingers. Fingers that could make you forget anything and want to forget everything else. "That's right, just keep counting those eyelashes, brown eyes," she thought to herself as she lightly smiled that smile that could stop a train, stop time, stop the world in its tracks. For her, the world would have tracks. "I'm hungry. I could eat a horse, or at least a sandwich. After all, you wouldn't want to watch me eat a horse, would you?" "Is there a kitchen in this joint? Or do the flies and cockroaches just order out?" Lexi jumped up. "Just look at this dress." Jack could do nothing else. Not if the building was on fire. Not if his life depended on it. "I really don't think I ought to let you talk to me like that," he protested, more like a cat objecting to a bowl of cream than anything else. "Oh, come on, who else are you going to get?" Lexi answered back as she surveyed the room, a true monument to a single man who was very likely to stay that way. "Is there somewhere I could freshen up?" Lexi said casually, with her voice drifting off as she wandered into the bedroom. Before he could come up with an answer, which honestly usually gives her plenty of time, she had found the closet and was rifling through it with great abandon. After all, it wasn't hers, so what's the harm? "Do you have a hanger in this joint so I can put my dress up to dry? I'm not wearing anything underneath, and I don't want it to get wrinkled." He had been on the verge of a response to that last thing, or an objection to the thing before that, but that stopped him. He made it a full 3.5 steps before it hit him, and his panicked, little boyish response will be with her forever. "I only have one pair of pajamas." "It couldn't be this easy." "Well, that's good. I wouldn't want you to be indecent in front of my sandwich," she matter-of-factly replied. She could be matter-of-fact with the best of them. Somehow sexy and matter-of-fact really could go together with her, as could sexy and really almost anything else. He tried. He really tried to jump in, but the water kept moving. Oh, yeah, how about making yourself less comfortable and going down to that deli around the corner and grabbing a couple of sandwiches? And something for yourself. And take your time. I don't think my dress will be dry until morning. Well, not if you have your way, at least. The door closed behind her with a whimper, not a bang, and Lexi smiled that smile that you could somehow see on her even with her back turned. She made her way to that room across from the coat closet, the one with the lock that seemed to really work and seemed newer than the rest. And yes, the key fit. The room was small, the kind of room that would run away if it weren't nailed down. It smelled of flop sweat, failure, and old cigars. Wow, that alley really was better decorated, Lexi quipped to herself. But there it was, the gray metal box, its contents more valuable than all the gold in Fort Knox, or more deadly than all the dynamite in the world in the wrong hands. She opened it, her hands steady, as steady and careful as she had been with the key when she flirted it out of his pocket, careful not to flirt with anything else in there, and pulled out a large paper envelope full of documents. She pulled them out and flipped through them, and quickly realized that they were exactly what she was after. These could change everything. She thought of her family and her sister and her fields in faraway France. She thought of Matilda, of her innocent young eyes and her tattered book. These plans could help end the war, could help build a world where girls like her could dream without fear, and where those dreams could come true, and where no one could trample on them again. She slipped the plans into her coat, her heart pounding with a mixture of hope, determination, and longing. If only the gumshoe could make her heart pound like that, he might just have potential. "This is for you, Miss Matilda," she whispered, stepping back into the rain.